All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Huh.
Lola, you gonna help Popeyes? Huh? You gonna help Daddy fix the snow blower?
So our auger fit repair is all good there. That held up awesome. But I think we blew the head gasket on it, and the reason I think that is, listen to this. Can you guys hear that poofing sound? It's not coming out of the exhaust. It's coming, it sounds like it's leaking. It sounds like it's leaking somewhere in this area. And when I put my hand down in here, like if I hold my hand in this area, I can feel like air coming out. So what happened was, is I was using it, and as I was snow blowing along, just stalled and died. So I pulled it back to the garage. I thought maybe I got water in the tank. The tank was full, so I tried starting it again, and it just started running really rough, and it completely started sounding different. So that's why I think we blew the head gasket. So we're going to bring it down into the shop and troubleshoot it and see if that's what's wrong with it. So that's the model number, and here's the engine number, and this is where you find it, at least on this model.
So to get all this plastic and all these parts off it, you're going to need 7mm, 8mm, and 10mm sockets to get it torn down so you can get ready to get the head off it. I'll also leave part numbers and tools that I used down in the description.
So I've got it torn down pretty far. All I've got left to do is I got to take out that bolt there, that one, and that one. But what I wanted to show you is, look right in there. You see how that's all dark in there? That's kind of leading me to believe where the head gasket blew. Now let me show you the shield. And here's that shield that went up under there. Look how clean that is in that one little spot. I think that that's where the head gasket's blown out. I think we're going to find that the head gasket is split. And if you notice, guys, I'm leaving the valves right in it and everything. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Huh. Well, that kind of pretty much said the story there. Look at that, guys. There's the gasket all blown out. Oh, it blew out in two places. Huh. Yeah, blew out in two places. Hopefully it didn't take out the cylinder block. We'll take a look at it though. So I'm going to spray a little bit of carb cleaner on this. I want to clean up that piston and check the deck here to make sure that, oh man, I hope it's okay. We'll check it with a straight edge to verify. Yeah, here come the comments right here.
I wasn't able to find a lot of technical information about this teardown online. I was fortunate that when I purchased the head gasket, I got it through my local small engine dealer, so he was kind enough to share the torque specs with me, and I will also include those down in the description. But here what I'm doing is I'm just using a brass bristle brush, real just light. I want to clean it up, and I want to clean up that deck surface. Fortunately for me, it did not score the aluminum block or do anything when it blew it out, so I got real lucky in that aspect.
Check to make sure the valves aren't stuck. Nope, those push down nice and easy. So we know we got we know the valves are good, or at least the valves aren't sticking. I don't know if they're any good or not, but they're not sticking. So
one of the symptoms of an exhaust valve not closing all the way is that the muffler will glow red, and it'll also make popping sounds. This wasn't doing that.
All right, let's get this juleper back together. That's the new head gasket number. Just gonna. So you see how it can only go one way. You see how the holes don't line up even when it's on the dowel pins. So we flip that around. Now it lines up again. So yeah, you really can't mess this up.
I'm glad that my local dealer was nice enough to share the head torque specs and valve clearances with me, because I found information online that would have had me having to redo a lot of this.
Now it's important not to, you're going to want to torque these. I'll get the torque specs here in a minute. Now we'll put the push rods back in it, and if you got them confused on this model, it doesn't matter. They're both the same length. But there is a lifter that this has to sit on down in there. Yep, and I'm on it.
The proper torque for this engine is 225 inch-pounds. Like I said, there's all kinds of conflicting information about valve clearance and everything online. 225 is what it needs to be. Now, here what I'm doing is I'm not going right to 225 on each bolt. I did it in like 3 or 4 different steps until I finally reached 225 as my final torque. And I'm kind of just trying to do a cross pattern. I didn't ask for the torque sequence or the pattern. I'm just kind of making sure that I'm tightening one across from the other. And the valve clearance on this for the intake is between 4 and 6, and the exhaust is 9 and 11. So I set my intake for 5 thousandths and my exhaust for 10. And those are set with the piston all the way up at top dead center. When you reinstall the carburetor, make sure you attach the linkage to the carburetor before you attach the carburetor back to the head, or you're not going to be able to get it hooked back up. Now, the only gasket I replaced on this was the head gasket. I reused the gasket on the carburetor and on the valve cover. And for the valve cover, I put a very thin bead of Permatex. And for the exhaust, I reused the gasket there as well. And I also put some anti-seize on the exhaust bolts and on the spark plug. Now I'm just getting everything all buttoned up and get it ready to try it out.
Now Lola, hi Lola, is here to see if our snowblower for the second time, third time is a charm. So, yep.
It's going to be a hero or a zero, one or the other. I think that's on.
Yeah, make sure the on switch is on. I found that out the simple way. Oh, there we go. Tomorrow we're supposed to get up to 12 inches of snow. A good old foot. Right, Lola? Taking it out for a jog. Yeah!